Good morning, dear laddies. My name is Gonzo, and I'm sounding totally fucking racist. I'm fucking sorry. Alright, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try to continue on with the second part of Chapter 1 of Higurashi's Onikakushi chapter. The thing is, though, I've done the recording, the first one you've heard, with the studio microphone. And I'm going to try this again with my headset microphone, just to see if people have a preference for one over the other. It might sound a little weird, but I'm going to try my best, because I'm going to be taking, you won't be able to hear this, because hopefully when I filter this shit through Audacity, it'll probably sound a little better than the raw recording itself. So, let's see if we can continue from where we left off from the first part. I understand that we somehow have an extra button, so I might have to just ignore it. Okay, let's see if we can get things started. Where we last left off, we had a nice, good day after Keiji came back from a funeral. And all things... I don't even know how to describe it, because I simply can't. Things went so wrong in certain places, and then things went so insane, especially when we're dealing with the normal happenings of the Hinamizawa school and the gang of Keiichi and Rena and Mion and Rika and Satoko. And we just gone through a decent day. Let's see how things fare this time around. Low data. Let's see. Also, we had some tips, but let's check out those tips right now. Not much, so how about we just continue? I took it a little too easy on the morning of my day off. I was totally late. Today was the day Rena and Mion were going to show me around Hinamizawa. Rena and Mion were already waiting at the meeting place. Kei-chan, you're late. Sorry, the show I was watching last night was really interesting. Blame that. And I need to adjust the volume on my end, because sometimes it gets loud on my headset. I don't know why. Oh, so that's your excuse for being late and keeping two girls waiting? Hey, Chan, you just got here yourself. Hang on, I'm gonna pause this recording and get myself something to drink. I feel a little parched. Back? A nice little can of soda. Tasty. Now, let's see if we can get on with this. Last episode in a day in the life was interesting, wasn't it? She was just as guilty as me. Aren't we all guilty of watching something one way or another? Rena was carrying a pretty heavy-looking bag. I wonder what's in it. Mion answered my unspoken question with a wink. That's right, Rena did make a picnic. Kei-chan, after you left, Rena pulled out all the stops. not like I forced her to do it. It was nothing, so don't worry about it, okay? She's been like this since last night, you know. Can't you take responsibility for this? No comment. Alright. I am a man after all. I'll take responsibility. Responsibility for what? For what? As we both turned around slowly to look around, our gazes drifted downwards to the massive handbag she was carrying. It didn't seem logically feasible that it would be entirely filled with lunchboxes, except this was Rena we're talking about here. About 2 kilos, I guess? When Rena was picking it up, I could see she was struggling a bit. I'd say 5. You're exaggerating. Ichikun's a boy after all. I thought he could probably eat a lot, so I made a lot, okay? Gee, let's go. Ew-how! Just from the way she was lifting it up, I couldn't believe the only things in there were lunchboxes. Correction, I say 5 kilos too. I'll help out. All of it needs to be eaten. I won't forgive you and make Rena sad, okay? The only thing I could do at the moment was exercise a bit to make myself hungrier. Having finished with the pleasantries, we began our leisurely stroll. A carefree walk, bathed in a gentle morning sunlight. I couldn't have even imagined something so wholesome existed during my time in the city. They were the boonies after all. No slobbing just doggies trudging to work on the weekends here. It really was a nice place, peaceful and quiet. As sparsely populated as the village was, you could still run into people just by walking around. Huh, good day? Good day? Oh, you seem to be my barracoon, I believe. My 2 companions exchanged greetings with everybody we ran across. All of these passerby even knew my name. When did I become this famous? We passed 3 people, and when all 3 of them knew me, I started to feel a bit paranoid. It's a bit sad to say. Everyone knows everyone since there's so few people in here. So that means... Sounds when enough familiar face walks by to automatically assume it's that Mayabara Farrella who just moved here. That's how it works out. It was a process of elimination you could only pull off in a place like this, but it was quite effective. From now on, I better make sure to maintain a good reputation. Today I'm discovered accidentally gawking at a dirty magazine at Bookstore. I expect all the villagers labeling me as a lech by the next day. I've already labeled you. Hinamizawa is not to be trifled with. That's not the end of this nightmare. Of course I know them. The first person we meet was Ome Tagazo from the Makino bike shop. His hobbies are bonsai and playing the flute. What, are we going to be dating him soon? I hope not. Next we meet the grocer's second son, Daisuke. His hobby is sharpshooting, and he hopes to be an ace sniper in the future. And the person we just met was Mio, the nurse from the clinic. I didn't see her. Her hobbies are bird watching and photography. And remembering the series, among a lot of other things. You know the names of everyone we passed by, and even their profiles? Seeing my surprise, Mion and Ren exchanged looks and burst into laughter. Well, yeah. We're not like the city where people hardly know their neighbors. Then let's try it out. You there. Who am I? You're Geiichi Mayabara. You say some mean things, but you're actually a kind, shy person. It's been 3 weeks since you transferred here. Your hobby is taking afternoon naps. Lately you switched over to wearing boxers. Didn't you? That's enough. Okay, this is creepy. Boxers? Enough of that! Apparently there's absolutely nothing you can keep in here. Ibiza was not a place to be trifled with. This feels more like you guys are showing me off rather than showing me around. That's right. We're parading around like this after all. Don't you all think so too? That Kei-chan is fitting right in here with Inigizawa. The population is shrinking, so the villagers welcome anybody who's even new here. I thought about brushing it off with something, to the effect of "you kid me," but I held back. Had I ever greeted someone who just moved into the city like this before? Thinking about that made me believe what they said wasn't a joke after all. We soon passed another person. Of course, we were called out again by the same way. My good day. It's wonderful seeing you getting along. This lady here is Fujishima. Good day. Oh my Barracoon, how wonderful of you, having a lovely girl on each arm. How are you? Getting used to life here? Instead of regurgitating a prepared response like I would have in the city, I responded with an emphatic nod. The old woman chuckled, voicing her appreciation of how energetic I was. Good. As I looked back over to Rena and Mion, they gave me a wink. So, now then, about time to have lunch, maybe? Maybe? Rena's brilliant smile signaled the approach of an event that both me and I were trying to forget. We were both looking at each other. Oh man, I'll do what I can, but it's just too much. It's fine, Kei-chan. Leave this to this old man. Mion has never seemed as reliable as she does right now. I expect no less from the class representative. Rena, if we're going to eat, we might as well go somewhere with a good view. Why, yes. Good idea, I agree. Rena nodded her head happily in response to Mion's proposal. Cresting the top of a stone stairway, a shrine drawn straight out of my imagination appeared before us. It had worn down a bit through the years, but the fall leaves had been swept up, giving it a tidy feeling. This here is the Furude Shrine. It's probably the place with the best view around. This place, be sure to remember it. On our next break, a festival will be held here. Isn't it a bit too early in the season for a festival? The Watanagashi is a summer festival. Long ago, it used to be a celebration for the end of winter. I was embarrassed for assuming that festivals had to be held in the summer. Now then, spread out the lunch boxes, and there! Various colored lunch boxes were placed one after the other on top of the plastic sheet. It sure did smell delicious. It's Rena's home cooking after all. It went without saying that it would be delicious. But is it even possible to finish all of this? Hey Mion, it'll take more than just a good view to get all this down, you know. Good afternoon. Look who arrived. Rika and Satoko. Why are they even here anyway? Mion grinned over at me. I see. This was her secret plan to power in numbers. You have my thanks. Following up when all the pieces are in place is my specialty. We just had to come since there wasn't such a commotion. What is the meaning of this? Take a look. It's time for lunch. Buffet style. A handmade gourmet meal by Rena. I can see that much. Why have you laid out a tarp on our property? The temple is public grounds, it's not yours. Keiichi's right. This is everyone's property. Wow, Rika's such a good girl. Have a seat. Eat with us. After opening up a spot for Rika-chan, I promptly turned my back on Sadako. Hold on a second. Where's mine? No spot for you and nothing for you to eat. Don't worry. Hey, there's something for you too. Oh, I'll eat all of hers. I will not allow that. Rika? Here, chopsticks. Both Satoko and I leaped at the boxes, having it out with each other. Man, really, Kei-chan, you're really good at leading people on. You must have a talent for this. Having a plate. Have a plate. One for me-chan and Rika-chan. Rena whipped out pairs of chopsticks and paper plates. We don't really all be eating up. That's right. Okay, shall we commence this battle? Please eat a lot. There's enough for everyone, Rena said as she opened up a thermos. Just then I realized that this lunch was made under the assumption that 5 people would be eating. It didn't change how much there was, but the implication behind it was different. I would not allow you to have this hamburger. Damn! You're accusing yourself against the rules, Satoko! Grabbing the back of my collar was also against the rules too. A tough battle, blocking with her full momentum and an elbow, and the opening moves. Satoko appeared to have the upper hand, but the difference in my proficiency with chopsticks proved to be fatal and gave me the upper hand. Ah, the last meatball! Satoko Hojo has been bested. Satoko and I amicably began choking at the same time, falling backwards. It's fascinating. Rika-chan patted me on the head to clear it, even though it was actually stuck in my throat. Seeing that made Rena blush and breathe heavily in excitement. It was almost like flowers were floating all around her. Me on the vice, Rena to refrain from seeing anything that could get her locked up. This is how our meals usually go. I do anything in my power. Just so things could stay like this. The intense battle calmed, and finally everyone reached a point where they could begin talking. Receiving tea from the thermos, I let out a small sigh. I do wonder why there's so few words in Japanese to praise how something tastes. Isn't it because the idea of togetherness during a meal didn't begin until the modern era? Seems that long ago people ate in silence. Must have made people preparing the food a bit sad, don't you think? It's probably because back then people were busy even while eating and didn't have time to compliment the flavor. That's just you. But you know, just hearing that is good makes me happy. That my effort was worth it, I mean. She blushed a little as she said that. So cute. It was delicious. With absolute perfect timing, Rika struck Rena directly with praise. She looked straight at her with an expression of bewitching innocence. After Rena uttered an unintelligible noise, a ring of smoke rose from her head with an audible poof. Take-O mode, activate! Rika-chan, I'm going to take you home. No, I mean, thank you. It was really delicious. Rena blushed red with excitement, embracing Rika-chan and rubbing her cheek against her so hard you could almost hear it. To reward Rika-chan for her praise, ta-da! These are special. 2 apple rabbits. After sticking toothpicks into them, she thrusted them towards Rika-chan. After Rika-chan accepted them, the mood suddenly shifted in a bizarre way. What is it? What's with the defiant look? Has everyone prepared proper face to receive apples from Rena-san? Don't push yourself. What kind of praise can you think of with your weak vocabulary? Oh, well then, allow me to show you. After Satoko flashed me on, and Mia with a defiant look, she changed the tone of her voice suddenly. Hey, so Rita, when she has lunch? Satoko thought it was yummy too. Satoko looked at her with her powder lip while taking cutesy. What? How is that praise? Not persuasion by tears, it's persuasion by cuteness. to run a limited special skill. She blushed and her head spun, waving around in circles. Don't fall for it, Rena! Of course, that was asking for the impossible. Rena glomped Sadako and began rubbing her cheek against her. Cute! Sadako's so cute! Let's take you home! Swish! Stab! Push! Sadako was also presented with apple rabbits. After stuffing into her mouth, she looked over at me and me again with a defiant gaze. Fuck. It only took 5 seconds to take down Rena. Unfair. To think she had such a trick. If it obsessed you so much, why write a word with some praise? Damn it. That was a dirty trick. First of all, it wasn't even praise. Satoko, you think you're born with that, don't you? How about I show you guys something much better than superficial gimmicks? Sounds great. I wonder what it is. Kei-chan, you're gonna be the one who does it. Eh? Why don't I have you show me then? Writhing of an old maid. The plan of attack she suggested was wicked, but it was the only thing we had to beat Satoko. After sipping tea, I started talking very naturally and calmly. Perfectly. Everything is good, isn't it? This is all freshly made, right? No, actually almost all of it was frozen stuff. Then which ones did you make fresh? Well, it's embarrassing, but do I really have to say it? Must I? Synergy of boy plus handmade lunchbox, her impression had melted into euphoria. I already know this one, right? She turned an even deeper shade of red. The words I can't believe were practically written on her face. How can you tell? How? That I made it? Of course, Mia had told me beforehand. It's been perfect so far. After acting like I was shy, I waited a beat. Next would be the finisher. It had your smell.
Goodbye.
What is fucking you're insane. What? Silence enveloped the area. Rena, face still completely red, froze solid. With a small yelp, Satoko blushed. Of course I did too. I sure would like to try one of Rena's homemade, handmade apple rabbits or something. Even if it's all because I was competing against Sadako, I felt like I had crossed the line by a good 9 yards, I think. I think you left out a zero there, bub. Then at that moment, it was a Tupperware container filled with rabbits. Please eat some cake. Plenty for you. Instantly, dozens of the apples were shoved into my mouth, knocking me over. Say hi, Keiichi-kun. My head was forcibly laid upon my lap, and even more apples were shoved into my mouth. When she was squealing one after another, it was forced into my mouth more and more. Apples. That was bad. Okay. sacrifice. How's that, Satoko? This is our complete victory, isn't it? I can't believe it. Such trickery. Doesn't bother me at all. She grinded her teeth, mortified. We did it. I claimed victory as my conscience drifted slowly away from me. At the time, Rena stopped her squealing as she suddenly realized something. Riki-chan, you're not eating it. Does the salt want to make it too strong, maybe? Maybe? Looking over, Rika had pulled a toothpick out of the apple wrap-up, placed it into her cupped hands, and seemed to be at a loss for what to do. Poor Mr. Rabbit, I feel sorry for him. I want to save him. I think we broke her. That was the sound of blood squirting from Rena's nose. Oh shit. Cute! Tonight I will take you home. She shook sporadically, head wobbling back and forth. Then coming back to her senses, she took all the apples around me, gathered them up with a whip and fixed them back onto a plate. Now they're all just fine, okay? Here, I'll give it to you, okay? She raised up Sadako's hand like a referee after handing that plate of rabbit stuff to her. She whispered, "This is our victory." Wait, what? What? I'll come back. Thus my sacrifice ended up being in vain. Okay. It was a fun-filled, crazy day. But as soon as the sun began to set, the end of the day really did come quickly. Later, Rena-chan and Keiichi. See you tomorrow. Thanks for today, Mion. I had a great time. See you tomorrow. Satoko and Rika-chan went home as well. We parted ways with Mion, and it ended up with just Rena and myself enjoying the evening air on our way home. Thanks for coming today, Keiichi-kun. Was it fun? Yeah, lots of fun. Almost feels like a waste to go home now. Well, would you mind taking a little detour, maybe? A detour? Isn't it far? It's a bit of a walk, but it won't take long. Since we've been walking around all day, I must have seemed a bit tired. I'm feeling like teasing right now. I quickly nodded. Traversing a small path up a small hill, the land suddenly stretched out before us. There, what looked like the remains of a dilapidated construction site came to view. A large heap of garbage spread off towards the swamp, probably illegal dumping. I recalled it being in a newspaper. It's been quite a while. I wonder what's here. When you say it's been a while, you mean the business you had here was with this garbage pile? It's not garbage. To me, it's a pile of treasure. Rena had already entered that well-known cute mode of hers. So that meant there was something cute here. A new pile. I can't wait. She bounded up the unstable slope. I expect no less from a born and bred country girl. It seems I have a new piece in my inventory. I'm gonna take a quick pause. So I returned back, and everything is just a-okay. Nothing unusual. Just some lame-o message, so let's continue. Hey, wait, I'm coming. My sitting way self was completely pitiful. It's alright, just stay there. It won't take long. She declined my accompaniment. Don't fall. Watch your step. I'm fine. There's nothing here after all. Literally bounding up the heap of trash, she disappeared over the other side. I didn't like being left behind, but I was still pretty tired from the whole day, so I just ended up waiting. Without the lively reno around, the surrounding area quickly fell to silence. The cry of the cicadas gently cooled the air. Barely exhausted, I began to feel a little sleepy. Just in the sudden noise of scattering pebbles alerted me to someone's presence. Startled, I turned around. Standing here was the typical-looking photographer, spied on me through his camera. His body was tan, very fit, but something about him seemed unreliable. He had a bit of an aloof air about him. Well, it didn't sound like he was a bad guy in any case. Whoa, he surprised me. Although startled when I turned around, he overplayed his reaction. That was my line. I'm the one who's surprised here. My bad. I didn't mean to startle you. Are you from Hinamizawa? I gathered that he wasn't from that question. Unfazed by my suspicious outlook, he introduced himself to me without prompting. I'm Tomitaki, freelance photographer. I come to Hinamizawa from time to time. I didn't ask who you were. Quite rude to photograph someone without consent, one would think. My bad. I mainly photograph wild birds. They can't refuse, you see. So, what, you're saying I'm the same as those birds? No, well, you see, that image of the young man in that twilight was just picturesque. I apologize for trying to take your picture without asking. Well, those can be pretty slick. All that annoyance I felt for being startled just flew away as he buttered me up. I had no intention of hanging around with this guy trying to get cozy with me, except it didn't seem like Rena would be back soon. But this older guy, Tomitaki, he didn't mind my cautious responses, and continued rambling on by himself. Keiichi-kun, sorry to keep you waiting. I'm finished. Rena popped her head out from one of the lower piles of garbage to wave her hand. You have someone with you? What would she be doing over there? That's what I wanted to know. Don't know, maybe she's checking on that dismembered corpse that was out here a long time ago. Tomitaki looked shaken up by that for a moment. Oh, I responded like I was talking with Rena and others. It was quite a disturbing incident. I still haven't found one of the arms. Keiichi-kun, sorry to keep you. You were watching a while, I guess. Yeah, it'd be best to leave you two lovebirds alone. Again, my apologies for startling you, Keiichi-kun. Tomitaki-san chortled suggestively, then disappeared into the twilight. Missing my chance to retort pulled me off for a bit. Keiichi-kun, are you angry? Why, I wonder. It wasn't Rena's fault, so I decided to just brush it off. How was it? Find a treasure trove? Oh, yes. So, listen. You see, there was Colonel Sanders' doll. The Colonel Sanders doll? Oh, that thing? That's what you always have out in front of that fried chicken place? That life-size dummy? Yes, Colonel Sanders. Cute. I really want to take that home. I couldn't tell how she decides what's cute and not, but oh well. She seems to want it. It's garbage, right? I won't care if you just take it home, right? It's become the base of another pile. I can't dig it out easily. There's no lampposts over there, so it'll get dark pretty soon. Rena seemed quite down about finding a treasure and not being able to bring it back. I'll help you out to repay you for the delicious picnic you prepared today. Thank you. Birds heading home to roost that nightfall will be soon upon us.
Kichikun's going to help. I can take Colonel Sanders home.
She staggered along as if intoxicated in her dreamy state of mind. I tried asking her in a way that wouldn't take her out of her cheery state. Rena, long ago, did something happen here?
Seems like they were building a dam here. I don't know the details, though.
Just wondering if you knew about, an accident or something.
I don't know.
Her tone was disturbingly frank. It sounded more like denial than an answer. I must have appeared rather dumbstruck. Rena quickly lightened her expression.
Actually, I didn't live here until a year ago.
Huh? So, you transferred here too? I was sure of that.
So you see, I really don't know much from before that. Sorry.
Don't really know, don't want to talk about it. That was the kind of feeling she gave me. Thinking about it, of course it would be like that. This wasn't the type of thing girls would enjoy talking about. It was quite a disturbing incident. It seems to be able to find one in the arms. If it's just like Tomataki said, then I had a feeling that only the cicadas would know. Tips, the Mayabara Mansion, the dam site, murder, dismemberment, newspaper edition. Huh. This one's awfully shorter than the one I did. So I'm going to save and stop the recording.